Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Titans Season 1, Episode 1, Titans. It's kind of funny how it's called Titans because the Titans don't even really form in the first episode. They don't start to form until halfway into this first season, but hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I wanted to go back all the way to the beginning and start talking about Titans. Normally, when I talk about Titans, I'm bashing it. Kind of for the most part. I rarely ever have anything good to say about it. Mainly because, like, when I started reviewing it, I think, season three. But every now and then, I'll go back and start talking about some older stuff. I just recently just put out a video talking about Titans is broken and stuff like that. And that's because it's just not a very well put out show. It's not properly made, written, like, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff. But there are some episodes that I actually do enjoy, like this one. I think season one, while not perfect, it was better than the last two for the most part. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Um, like, it's not perfect, but there are more episodes that are more enjoyable in season one. Let's put it like that. And so, I just wanted to touch down on like this episode because it was a pretty cool episode. There was some things in here, I really enjoyed and stuff. So the episode starts off with a young girl walking through like the entrance of a circus, and you can hear all the circus stuff going on, all the animals and people talking and stuff like that. This young girl is Raven, but she's not called Raven just yet because she hasn't become the Raven that everybody knows and loves from the comics. She is called Rachel. So from time to time, I'm gonna switch both from Raven and Rachel. And so when she actually goes through the curtains, everything is like gone. Like it just feels like dead, empty. It feels so much like a dream sequence because she's reliving a memory, not her memory, but Dick Grayson's. And then there's a huge sign, that electronic one that comes on, and it says Flying Graysons. And then all of a sudden, she can see the Flying Graysons in the air performing their amazing stunts, their acrobatic stunts, without the safety of a net. You know how that goes. And just like the story goes, tragedy struck when Tony Zuko had cut the ropes, and then the mother and father of the flying Graysons, they crash land to the ground and they die, leaving a young Dick distraught and disturbed. And we see a hand touch his shoulder and speak out to him, Bruce Wayne. This is before they showed what Bruce Wayne looked like. Old Bruce from the show. Like, what is this, Batman Beyond? And then, so, she screams and she wakes up. And she has a nightmare. Her mother comes racing in, trying to calm her down, telling her to breathe, like, like how I taught you. Like, her daughter is very disturbed. And then when her mother leaves her, you can see all of this like religious imagery like on the door, crosses, you name it, and one of the crosses fall off. And then we get the cool intro. I love that intro so much, the theme song to it. And so we then see her at her kitchen table, and she's getting ready for school, right? And so she's drinking the coffee, and her mom's all like, "You shouldn't be drinking coffee. You're too young." And she's all like, "You shouldn't smoke." And the mom tries to like lie about it, talking about she ain't smoking, but she really is. Now, during this conversation, one thing I really love is back in season one of Raven's old powers. They were so unique and demonic, so much better than what happened in season 2 and 3. In season 2 and 3, they're basically just like cloudish smoke looking stuff that's kind of similar to what you see in the comics and animation series, but I prefer season one, the whole demonic thing. Like if I was to think of like what Raven power should look like, it would be that, because she is half demon and stuff. So they have a bit of an argument. I forget what happens, but something like happens, you know what I'm saying, that causes Rachel to like leave in like a hurry. I think something did happen. I forget what, but I think she almost harmed her mom by mistake with her demonic powers because they just come out like out of nowhere, right? I think she said something. I think she said like stop lying, and then her demonic form like came out, something like that. Something happened, but then she rushes out, and her neighbors all like, "Tell your mom to stop all that screaming and stuff. I don't care how emotional, upset you are. I'll call the police again." And so this goes on like all the time, and it's a lot for her mom to deal with. But she still loves her daughter and everything, and she'll do anything for her. And that's so sweet, especially when we find out some other stuff a couple minutes later. And so when Rachel is like on the bus, there like a boy who's picking on her, and this other boy tries to defend her, but he gets his butt kicked. So then when she's at school, she tries to thank him for defending her, but he doesn't want nothing to do with her. Pretty much everybody thinks she's some kind of freak. Now, the setting of this is Michigan, because then later on we go to Detroit, Michigan. So they're in two different parts of Michigan. Why it's in Michigan, it's never been explained. Because when we see Dick, he's supposed to be in Bloodhaven, but he's in Michigan for some reason. One YouTuber believes it's because Jeff Jones just loves Michigan and he loves putting stuff there, so that could be an indication. So we see Detective Dick Grayson, and he's at the police station, and he's given a new partner, a female partner. He doesn't want a partner. Some of the other like cops there kind of tease him or her about that, because they say he's from Gotham, and there's no telling what happened to his old partner. And so like we see him before he goes there to the police station. We see him spying on something and looking at a laptop at some battered pictures of like little girls and stuff. And so it's been told now that he has been living in Detroit for like a year since leaving Gotham, and he's still robbing. So he just now left Bruce, and he's an adult too. They don't say exactly how old he is, but he's an adult. And so this is one problem I had with like season 2 and season 3. If he left Bruce and been gone for an entire year, then a lot of the stuff that they say happened within like certain years of the show make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Especially in the third season when Barbara shows up. Because it's kind of like there's no way in the world this could have happened at this point in time, because in the first season he only been away from Bruce for like a year. And so like at some point back with Rachel, she heads back home, right? And when she's there to talk to her mom, she wants to apologize. But there's a problem. There's a man in the house with her, some bald-headed man, and he has a gun pointed at his mom's head. And so Rachel just stands completely still and doesn't really say nothing. She's like terrified for her mom. And so the man tells her like, "Oh, you think this is your real mom?" And he tells the woman to tell her the truth. And so like the mom tells her straight up, "I'm not your real mom, but I love you as though I am your real mom." And as soon as she says that, the man blows her brains out and everything. And he tells Rachel that he's been looking for her for a long time. That something about like, I forget exactly what he said, but he's been looking for her, and she's supposed to bring on to something. And then so her demonic powers comes out, and like this astral projection like of her in demonic form shoots out her body real fast and like knocks him to the ground, and then she runs out the house. And then so after that she goes to the bus station, and she's looking to get like far away from there as she can. And then she tells the bus lady she wants to go to Detroit, of course, because that's where Dick is at, and somehow she's telepathically connected to him. It's never explained why she can see through like his dreams in the past of like his past life before he became Robin, but somehow she's telepathically connected to him. And so like then over in Detroit, it's nighttime, and there is a guy, and he's like doing a drug deal with a group of his friends. his gang, and he's selling them to this other gang people. And so we see Dick is still spying on the guy, and he's looking at his notes, and there's more battered girls, and the guy got released from prison, and like his case dismissed and everything. So he's gonna bring this dude to justice. So he opens up his briefcase thing, and inside we don't get to see it, but his Robin suit is in there. And so he leaps from like one building to another. It catches their attention, and he tells them in the shadows he's only there for that guy and for air. And then he drops down on the car and tells everybody, leave the drugs, leave the guns, and walk away. He just wants this dude. Of course, they don't listen, and they want to know where Batman is because it's only been a year. So he throws down a smoke pellet and he goes to action. This fight scene is brutal. I mean, I've never seen Robin fight like this. Basically, they were trying to emulate Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman, the warehouse scene, and they emulated it in a more gruesome way. This Dick Grayson Robin supposed to be like plucky and like young spirited, and this dude is violent. And he just takes like knives and he stabs people in the neck, and you see blood splashing out. So they're probably dead. And he smashes the one dude he's looking for, smashes his face through like the windshield, and then rubs his head through the shattered glass. He takes one guy's face and rubs it through like a cement wall. There's blood everywhere. And then he gives the whole F Batman line, which pissed a lot of people off. And so, like, after that, I guess he like took the dude like to jail and stuff like that. Well, this caused a stir where the mayor of the city wants Robin to go back to Gotham, and now the police force knows that Robin is in Detroit. I don't know how they don't make the similarities, because I think Dick Grayson is from Gotham. Now Robin came from Gotham. And it's like, and even though he's been gone from Bruce for a whole year, he must have just like touched down in Detroit, because he hasn't been doing the Robin thing. And so, like, at some point in time, now we get to Starfire, Coriander. Now, the thing about this show and the first season, the pacing was so off. They spent like about 30 minutes on Raven and Dick, and then now they get into like Corey. And then when they get to Beast Boy, you'll be shocked and amazed. So she wakes up in a car, and there's like blood everywhere. There's a dead man, and then there's another car coming. And then so she makes her way to like a hotel. She has no idea who she is. She's dazed, she's confused. And I think she's in either Russia or Germany. And so she's trying to get her bearings of who she is, but she's not sure. Season 1, the way they made her dress, it was terrible. She looked horrendous. She looked, from what people were saying online, she's a cross between what looks like a drag queen, a stripper, a streetwalker, just like all kind of stuff. And it's just like they did that wig was horrendous on her. And so she somehow makes her way to like, I guess, like this one guy's place to figure out who he is, who she is, and what's everything going on, because she finds like a passport and everything. And so when she talks to the dude, he's like, well, no. At first, she finds like a guy tied up. And when she finds him tied up, an older guy, she asks like, he's all like, don't kill me, blah, blah, blah. So then she throws him up against the table, and he cuts himself free. And then she just pretty much beats the crap out of him. And he tells her, go meet this guy and he'll tell you everything. So she goes to meet this guy, right? And this other guy's all like, I loved you and you used me and blah, 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 stuff like that. And so then the guy pulls a gun on her and shoots her point blank in the chest. Before the bullet reaches her chest, she reaches out her hand to kind of like, no, stop. But then all of a sudden her power illuminates her body and she shoots flames out. Now this don't make no sense. When she uses her power, her body turns to fire too. Kind of like Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four, the Human Torch. And so it absorbed like the bullet and everything. and made it go to dust like her body did. You know what I'm saying? Not her hand. And then she shoots flames out of her hand and she kills everybody in that room. And then it's just kind of like she takes the sheet of paper and then his body turns to ash and she's smiling about it, but she still don't know who she is. And it's like she killed everybody in that room. And then not only that, remember that dude she beat up? After he told her what she wanted to know, she snaps his neck. And I'm just like, what the world is this? This is not Starfire. She doesn't go around killing people, snapping necks. They were doing that whole Superman thing from Man of Steel. And it's just like, this show is so dark and gritty, it makes no sense. Because these characters aren't supposed to act like this way. So she's going to make her way back to America. And very fast, too. And so that's all we see of her in the entire episode. And it goes back to Dick and like Raven. And so Rachel, she's like lost in the city and she goes to like a soup kitchen. And while she's eating there, this lady walks up to her and talking about she wants to help her out. So this lady's like, I'm going to drive you to like a shelter for young kids. While she's walking with this lady's like, oh, I know a shortcut to my car. And then so her demonic form and having some type of like alert system, right? And talking about how like, this is a trap, you need to run. And so she's getting kind of worried and everything. And then when she goes, she finally sees the lady car. It's already running, which is kind of convenient. So she gets worried and she runs away. And she sees the cop car, throws a brick through it. So then she wants to be taken course to the police station where Dick is. And so while Dick is there, he's trying to apologize to his partner for being so rude. But then, you know, he has to deal with the whole Rachel situation. Now, it's a pretty intense conversation they have. Rachel's all like, oh my God, it's you. You're the guy from like the circus and everything. And he's just kind of like, who put you up to this? Because she's so young, there's no way she could have been there when his parents died and stuff. He's way older than her. And so she's going on and on about like, you have to help me, all this other stuff. He doesn't want nothing to do with her because he thinks she's just like crazy and like pulling his leg and because you know she found out like who he is, but then she's all like, my mom's been murdered. So then he goes and looks into it. He calls the police station over there in that part of Michigan, and then he leaves her in the room while he goes take care of some stuff, but she doesn't want to be left alone. And he's all like, look, you'll be safe here, blah blah. So he goes and I forget exactly what he does, but then a cop comes in to take her, talking about, oh, I'm going to take you someplace else. He comes back. She is now gone. But he gets the phone call that, yeah, her mom is dead. So he sees her being drugged and put into a car. And then so, like, he gets the license plate number on it. And then he goes chase down the dude. So while she wakes up, the cop dude is there. And he's, like, being the lookout. But the bald guy that, like, killed her mom is there, too. And he tells her, like, you know, you don't know what you are, but you're supposed to bring on, like, pure evil and blah, blah, stuff like that. And I'm here to stop that. Like, because there's a group of people. See, the thing about her is that she is the daughter of the DC version of the devil. And he is supposed to come out through her. And so, like, and, you know, and take over, like, her body and rule the world, stuff like that. So there are a group of people who want to prevent that. And Coriander, Starfire, she's one of those people, but she doesn't really know it. But she's been assigned to take out like the girl, and the girl, of course, is Rachel. So, so Dick comes in, he takes out the cop dude, but he comes in his regular clothes. I wish he would have came in as Robin. That would have been so much better. But they have him in his like police attire, which I don't know why. So, you know, he comes in, he rescues her. I forgot. I think she might have done some like more demon type stuff, something like that. I can't really remember. But you know, he tells her straight up, you know, I'm gonna help you and stuff like that. And so then it goes from that, and then we finally get Beast Boy. He's in his tiger form. He stole like something from like a mall or something like that, and he runs out, becomes naked, and he's back in his human form. And his human form is not green colored skin or fur. They totally mess up the whole look of him. And then it ends. I'm just like, that's all the Beast Boy you're gonna show? They really don't show Beast Boy until like the 4th episode where he actually gets something to do and say. is really embarrassing. Like, this show is badly structured. But even though the first episode wasn't like perfect, it's still a lot better than most other episodes. Um, this show has like kind of like this bluish filter, which kind of sets the mood, but then it's in every episode of every season, and it gets like very annoying and stuff. The pacing is so off, and like the first season, like there are scattered episodes where it's kind of like, why is it revolving around these people? Why is Hawk and Dove in the show? Then we find out why they're in the show. There are some protagonists that do pop up, like the nuclear family, which was so cool. But it's kind of like this show, it has a structuring problem, and the problem never, ever, ever got fixed. And now they're finna have their fourth season. And it makes you wonder how long this show is gonna be on, because people are still complaining about this show. But, there are some good things to take away from like the first episode, like I said. We get to see Robin in his costume. The costume's not perfect. Jason Todd's Robin outfit looks way better in the show. The problem I have with his costume is that the cape is too small, and the arm pads are like too bulky and stuff. Raven is dressed, well, with a hoodie similar to that of the comics, but her clothes are just regular golf girl clothes and some weird blue hair. Some people say that's a wig. Yeah, ooh. And stuff. Now, I will say this, Rachel slash Raven does not act anything like she does in any of the animated series or the comics. She acts more like Rogue from the live action X-Men movies. Coriander, she is completely off, like just the way she looks. I ain't talking about like her skin color, because she's played by a black actress. I know people have a problem with that, but whatever, get over that. But she's supposed to have orange skin. But her wig was terrible, her outfit was terrible, and she just went around murdering people, which is so off. And then there's Beast Boy, who had little to no screen time. If you're wondering if he ever progresses as a character throughout the series, no. He's the only Titan who never really gets nothing to do. They messed his skin tone up. He's supposed to be green, but he's not green. He has green hair. The only animal he turns into really is just a tiger. He turned into a snake once and a bat twice, and that's about it. And they only happen like one time. One time snake, two time bat. And the rest are just tigers and stuff. And they make it so when he transforms, he has to be naked. And so that's very annoying and everything. And so, like, yeah, that was just episode 1. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.